have a quorum, because it says majority. There's 7, so there's 5 of us here. We have a majority. So if you would be so kind to do the invocation.
Not a problem. Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you today, Lord, we humble ourselves in your presence, Lord, and we thank you for the blessing of being able to serve our community, Lord. We ask that you lead us with wisdom and patience and perseverance as we take on this task, Lord. We ask that your hand always be guiding us, and we pray blessings, Lord. We pray praise upon your blessings in Jesus' precious and holy name. Amen.
Okay. The first 4 items on here is from the ordinance that the city council did. So if we'd stand and face the flag, we'll do the pledges. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas. One state under God, one and indivisible.
I didn't grow up in Texas, I was
Okay, I lied.
I forget.
Since the soon-to-be director has another let me introduce Alex Trevino, who is not, like I put on the agenda items. I was corrected. He's actually the Park and Recreation Department supervisor. I thought he was the interim head, so that was my bad.
We're promoting you.
After we had that first meeting, Alex was so kind to give me a tour of the parks and the ball fields. The one thing that I didn't get enough photography of were your nightmares in the restrooms out there at the river park. I thought it was the ones at Pecan.
Well, they're about the same, they're not.
Yeah, they're
much.
But they're using more of them.
They're, yeah, well, yeah, I've split it down the middle. It's about 50, it's about all the same. The majority of the use at the city park, at the river park is, both now is going to be in the evenings, and weekends, to where Pecan Park is just about every day. Every day.
There's more and more people using those trails at Pecan Park, because I jog at night, and I used to go jog at night, nobody was there. Now there's a bunch of people there when I'm out there.
I mean, it's,
And
of
the
course,
bathrooms there are bad.
the weather now is coming time to where people are coming outside more, so, the Pecan Park gets used quite a bit.
That's a good lead in, and if
Well, there you
you can talk to the,
Yeah. One of our, that's the, at Pecan Park, that is one of our main issues, is the facilities.
The bathroom.
The bathroom facilities, correct. I don't know exactly when they were put there, but since I've been here, which, since September, I have done just about all I can, of course, financially, as much as I can financially, to upgrade and upkeep the restrooms. I have a hard time finding parts for these restrooms. They're, like I said, I don't know how old they are. I honestly don't believe, I believe that the restroom, the toilets and the sinks themselves, I believe were here somewhere, probably stored for some time prior to use.
So the parts are special orders, basically.
Pretty
you're
much,
saying?
yes.
It's not like you can
It-
just run down Home
Correct,
Depot.
correct.
perhaps as a memory jog, in those papers I put in front of you, I've got a prioritization list, no particular order. If you want to take your little notes, do whatever, because after Alex finishes, I need to get you to also do your prioritization.
Right.
To get back with us, so that we've got at least the beginning when we start doing projects.
Right.
I'd like to point out too, remember the trees.
Yes.
Just please remember the trees, that's gonna come up later when we get going. There were people out there that day.
Yeah. And with regards to the tables and benches that we have out there, paint-wise, I'm fortunate enough to not really have to do that. We do provide the paint, but we have the Alternative Center who has his group of kids come out. I can pretty much call in whenever I want if the situation gets to where it's really bad. Fortunately, we don't have that many problems with vandals out there like we do at other areas in town. But for the most part, I have him right now come in 3 times a year to freshen up the paint on the benches and the tables out there, along with that first slide, that round tube, that concrete tube. They come out 3 times a year to freshen up that.
And they graffiti that quite a bit.
Yes, that, I don't know whose idea it was prior to me coming along to have it painted white, but white shows everything.
Whiteboards.
Actually, the paint that's on there now, I found here at our yard. I don't know what it was for, where, I asked if I could use it. They said, go ahead, so I did, that maroonish color. Those there are restrooms, of course. And unfortunately for me, the women's side is always the side that I have more problems with, and 95% of the people that are out there walking are women. I don't feel that, one, there's enough toilets in there, there's only 2. You can probably drive out there right now, there's probably 15, 20 women out there walking right now. And if you get the chance during the day, I don't know how often y'all drive by there, but it's there.
Also, all the little bitty kids use it.
Yeah. It's starting to get, it's the time of the year that it's gonna start to get utilized a lot more than what it did during the winter.
But what's bad about them besides, you're saying the part, it's
It's-
the parts and do they
They're
leak?
old. They're old. Well, I've got control of all the leaking.
Okay.
I've gotten control of all the leaking. It cost a good chunk of money to get that taken care of. The flush device, what it's called, I went through every resource that I have, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I didn't want to go to Ferguson Plumbing because I knew I was gonna pay for it there. Well, I ended up having to go there. And just the flush unit itself is $187. And that's pretty much a couple of pieces of plastic, a piece of rubber, and to describe it to you, it's a ceramic cone, egg-looking shape.
You said $85 for that? How much?
100.
Or 185 or 87. How much is it just to replace the boiler? If you were to replace it with an
Well, the thing,
industrial?
I looked into that also, to replace the toilet out there, because it's already pre-fitted to this type of flush valve, you're gonna look into redoing plumbing. So I didn't even go that route because I figured that's gonna cost me.
How often do you replace the flush valve?
There's a diaphragm inside the flush valve that I probably replace probably twice a month.
Twice a month.
But that right there, I probably have about 500 of them right now on stock. That it's just it's a thin sheet of plastic that it's easy to replace, and it doesn't cost that much. And of course, that's the only part on this unit that's universal with every other unit in town.
Are you ready to move to the night?
Hey, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You said that the restrooms for ladies, but one thing that we understand that they don't come there to stay, they come to walk. And most of the time, I was a runner. Before I left the house, I would go to the restroom and stuff like that, but you know what?
I asked myself the same.
How many
thing.
restrooms do we need to put for the ladies there?
Don't forget when families show up,
But
the
it's
moms
little
bring the
kids, a
kids
lot of
out.
little kids are using those
sometimes they can use
The
the women's
birthday
restroom
parties,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, they do have birthday parties out there.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Okay.
you'd be surprised. What I'm gonna do is, Mondays are the worst days, of course, because we work there the weekend. And I'm gonna start taking pictures. Not only, I had thought of doing this, but Andy also asked me to do it also, because, I mean, it's getting,
People don't care about.
that's the biggest thing. You know, I don't wanna sit here and sound like all our problems are in the women's restrooms, throughout the park, everywhere.
But your kids.
The convention center the same way. We never have issues in men's restrooms anywhere, anywhere. And it's always the women's restrooms. And I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna say what I think it is, but it's getting to the point at several, in my opinion, at several of our restrooms throughout town, is like we did at Lodi, like we did at the skate park, close the restrooms. Over there, of course, it's the kids vandalizing them over there, and we'll get to that after a while. But I've sat at Pecan Park on Monday morning. I go in Monday morning, I disinfect the entire restroom, everything, from the ceiling to the floor, clean everything, both men's and women's. I make my rounds throughout the park, emptying all the trash barrels, picking up trash throughout the park, and I end up back at the parking lot. I'll drive out of the parking lot, go down behind, by the hospital, come back around to the, behind the hospital, walk inside the restroom, and there's 50 pounds of toilet paper inside the stall, in the women's restroom. And I had just,
They're letting the little kids go in there by themselves. and they're tearing it up.
I'm sorry, remember, at those times that has
That's
happened,
all
there has
adults.
not been kids there.
Really?
Not at 7:30 in the morning.
I think people just don't care when it's.
That's honestly what I believe it is. I honestly believe that. And if Andy would allow me to, I would sit there and watch every woman that walked out, in and out, to go and find out, because I can't, it amazes me what they do in there.
Would signs or something help? I mean, just if you put a consideration sign or something? I mean, they do that at the ball fields, like some of the ball fields I played at. It actually kind of reminds you of things a little bit, you know?
I mean, that might work.
But once we move along, perhaps in one of the brainstorming between Alex and myself, I put down, and you got it on your projects list, would be restroom renovations. Obviously, the interstate highways have these facilities that made out of stainless steel and do whatever, to where
Yeah,
perhaps the maintenance required. And even now, as Alex is chatting, perhaps we can find a cleaning contract once we, get our projects done, to relieve the burden of the labor on these guys. But since the Little League's still calling, let's try to run through the things here so that we can free you up.
Some of our erosion there at the river park.
This is the major deterioration of the bank. And after our first meeting, Andy nudged me and said that the mayor had a meeting with the SARA people. And this is their draft engineering report, where they are suggesting 2 retention ponds. And I asked the question, based upon some conversations with Alex during my tour, why do we want to throw good money until you can tell me why we're having the sinkholes? Alex allowed me to go down between the back of the ball fields, and as you'll see, one thing I want to point out is that last night over at Lavernia, I went to another SARA meeting. Judge Quinney was there. They're now developing their continuation plan for Wilson County. And the bank erosion is one of the areas that they're covering, as well as restroom renovations, because of the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality's water quality initiative. But you can see where in the past, the city had tried to make some fixes to that bank. Well, if you fix it up here to keep the water going down, guess what? it's gonna turn. Water is not compressible, just like subsonic air, so Richard down there, while he's teaching his aero to his kids in the high school, what happens is when that water starts to turn, the outside flow, according to Bernoulli's principle, is gonna go faster than the inside water. So guess what it's doing? It's just gouging out more. And as you can see here, that's exactly what nature has done. And again, trying to fix it, stopping it here, going back down. One of the things that Alex pointed out is that they have some drainage up alongside behind the pool. And I asked him, well, why can't you get some more than great big round things that you got painted up burgundy at Pecan Park? And get the people that got the equipment, and let's put a big old culvert underneath there to make that water go. And the folks, the PhD holders for this draft watershed thing, I asked them, I said, well, if you don't know what's happening, and then in conversation with Michelle, they have the same type of problem with the sinkholes, but yet if you go to Riverbend Golf Course and you walk the bank between the #1 fairway, around behind the green, they don't have any sinkholes. Now they've got some of the same erosion here, so what's causing the sinkholes? And the lead on this, I guess you could say his name Person, said that he was thinking about coming out and doing a couple of boreholes out there to see what and where. So to me, rather than spending a lot of time, effort, and money out here to try to fix something that God's made, we gotta make sure that we know that the fix is gonna fix it and go with it. To include, maybe we condemn that section for use by people and look at another parts of the property to make moves. But that's something that downstream, once we get going.
Isn't the big concern that it'll spread though? That it's grown over the years and it'll continue to grow?
Oh, it has.
That's what I
know
mean.
that for a fact.
So that we still have to figure out a way to make it stop growing.
When you say it, are you talking
The
about this?
sinkhole, yeah.
Yeah, the sinkholes just come up wherever they
Well,
want
I'm
to come
talking
up.
about the erosion, the continued erosion.
In fact, didn't you say that y'all parked a truck in one of your sinkholes?
Well, no, buried the front end of one.
And see, my concern is, the kid's out there, he's going back to catch a fly ball, and if it actually falls in, Mr. Fuller from the Wildcats said that he's gone out there and taken a shovel and put it upside down and put it in a hole that might be only that big around, and it would fall all the way to where your feet portion of the spade would catch on the ground. So again, we need to know what the problem is before we can try to attack the problem, if that becomes one of our, projects that we're gonna really look to do.
Because I know with regards to this, on the baseball fields, the sinkholes on the baseball fields a few months ago, actually, the beginning of the year, I took a backhoe out there and I started digging them up and backfilling them. I dug as far down as the backhoe would allow me to on some of them, and I couldn't find the end.
This is the outfield, the field.
On some of them, I did find where it ended, or where I think it ended, but
Well, what do you mean ended? What are you talking
Oh,
about? Is
the
a
bottom of the
sinkhole
hole.
is, you're talking about the bottom of the hole?
the bottom of the hole, correct.
Some are bottomless or something.
Some of them just, some
Is
of them.
there, well, I mean, I'm sure there are some underground water sources and stuff running through there that may be causing some of it.
That could be it also.
So,
That's why I pushed the test to ask them,
yeah.
if
Well, I
the
know-
water runoff,
Go.
I'm sorry, if the water runoff coming around the back of that field, that big gully is right back over here.
Well, I know just on the sinkhole side, if we fill ours, I mean, they'll last however long, like 3 years, we haven't had to fill a sinkhole. Then more are starting to come
Right.
up. So that it will last
Yeah.
a long time. And then another one will still come up somewhere else. It's not gonna be in that same spot.
Because, I mean, I've been
You
involved
know.
with the Little League, I have a senior this year, and since he was 5 years old, I was involved with Little League, and that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're saying, I mean, we filled one up right here this year, next year we're filling up one over there, and we haven't had a problem with this one
Yeah.
again since.
Right.
So how
And
big are
that's
those
what we
sinkholes?
just did.
Some
In
of
diameter?
Some of them I could fit a pickup truck in.
I was thinking maybe goldfish, and when it rains, it just,
See, that's the other thing, we haven't had any rain.
No, but you
Last
know, the
couple
past,
years. And then you had the standard erosion, obviously, along the bank. And this is a shot from just, between the small field. If you're at the big field, this is just beyond the left field, the little field on the left-hand side. And you're looking back toward the river. And there weren't many up through here, but it's all seems right there where that one bend.
Have you guys ever looked at levying it, like they do on the beaches and stuff, to prevent more
I don't know
erosion?
that they can do anything. I think that's all
For
part
the
of the
city's
sanitary
area.
river
Yeah.
authority. Now, I was told that the DOT did something on the right of way,
Yeah,
underneath the bridge up
yes.
there.
Mm.
Like I was telling the mayor, one summer between my college days, I hung these fences. And what needs to be done here is at one end or the other to pull the tension
Come along.
and undo all of the fasteners. Notice how this bends in. Notice the spectators are over here. Well, guess who's over here? Your children. Thank the Lord that the fabric as it's weaved doesn't have the sharp ends at the bottom. They're at the top. But this needs to be fixed.
But the problem right there, they didn't put a wire that goes in the bottom also to keep from doing that.
If it's stretched tight,
Yeah, but they gotta have a wire in the bottom.
Just
You know what I'm
a
talking
straight,
about?
yeah,
It's gotta have a
like a
wire in the bottom.
guideline.
I even put in 12-foot cyclones.
It's gotta have a wire in the bottom that runs from one to the other end, and I don't have it there.
But this would be an easy fix if we got the volunteer force to go out there with some come-alongs or do whatever. The city secretary has promised me that she'll find a contract with the Little League because I was showing her these when she helped me set this up. My question is, if the Little League contract says they're supposed to maintain the fields, then why do they let the infield get to this status because they're not using it? And it may be that we take on the project of
What
asking.
field was that on?
That's the regular field. That's the field with sinkholes. Is that it may,
Wildcats uses that because Wildcats use that some of the
That's-
year.
That's where the
So there's a
conflict comes in.
conflict.
Yes. That's where the conflict comes in.
So they can't
I-
maintain it all during
what
the
I'm saying
year.
is that may become a project that we undertake to, once we get a copy of that contract in total, to sit down and look at it and bring those people in and do the legwork and then make a recommendation to city council.
And I'm almost 100% positive when you find that contract. I want to say that the Little League is responsible, which they don't do and they haven't been doing for the last 3 years. They're responsible to maintain that field, those fields and the area around those fields. I was a president of the Little League for 3 years. And I cut the grass there, I trimmed the trees there, I picked up the trash there, and that's not being done anymore. That's not being done
Well,
anymore.
they're in
So are they
violation of
supposed
the
to pick up
contract.
the trash?
That's correct. According to the contract that I saw when I became president of the Little League,
Okay.
But that's something again that will.
that's what the contract
Because I got
stated.
told the city was picking up the trash.
And
We are.
what year was that?
That was in 2004 through 2007.
Because he has a copy of the contract. that
No,
was
this is
given.
only that addendum.
Okay, so there's another one that's somewhere.
Yes.
That one does say
Because
what you're
I
saying.
if I go talk to some people, I know they have it.
Yeah, the addendum says it also.
Because after we spoke, the day I took you around town, I went back home and I thought I had it, I had kept a copy of it, but I can't find it. I don't know what I did, if I did have one or it stayed there with the Little League, but they do have one, and I believe, if I'm not,
Mr. Hopkins, I think, has a copy.
oh, I'm sure he does. Don't quote me on it, but I believe it also states that it's their responsibility, the Little League's responsibility from June, I want to say August 1 through the end of November. Is what I want, for some reason, those
Because
are
there's fall ball,
But
but
see-
the Wildcats is on
right.
there.
And
so
now,
there's
understand that when I was,
conflict
when
from
I was
understand.
president, we didn't have fall ball back then.
Right.
We didn't have.
And they didn't have, oh, do we have Wildcats?
Well, and they may not have amended the
Well,
contract.
we
for
started,
that either.
the Wildcats started in 2004,
Okay.
but the board that was on the Wildcats was the board that was on the
Okay.
Little League, pretty much,
Okay.
pretty much.
Things have changed, I know
And-
there's, they have issues.
And they, yes.
Ah.
And,
That's what
that's a whole
And
other
so do they
story.
have a contract, does Wildcats have a contract?
That
with
I
the
know of,
city?
no.
There is,
Maybe
in
that's
this,
where
there
the,
is statement in this.
maybe that's where the
Mayor
friction's
gave
coming
to-
in.
Yeah.
Wildcats were included in the use and do whatever.
But sharing
I
those
didn't think
fields.
It's hard. I know they have, because I get phone calls left and
Well, we
right.
play fall ball and there's, you know,
Yes,
they
and
they
call-
argue.
they're
and
calling
you're
me
just-
at
you don't know what's
7
going on.
o'clock in the evening, you know, and you ain't gotta come tell the Wildcats to get out of here.
Yeah.
You gotta come tell them, well, I'm not anybody to tell anybody to
right.
go anywhere. You know,
Yeah.
the way I see it, it's first come, first serve.
Right.
You know, with the exception of the dates that you have to, with regards to Little League. With the exception, if you have the fields from this date to this date, well, then, okay, I don't have an issue telling somebody, hey, you know what? Here's the contract, it's theirs, y'all need to wait till they finish.
So, yeah, we need to find.
Yeah,
I think that amendment also says, Alex, that, and Mr. Jones, you can correct me.
I haven't read it all enough to remember.
Okay, but it says in there also something about somebody else that wants to come use the fields, that they can rent it from the Little League because they're committed to those, from that month to that month.
Yeah, well,
Something in
the
there.
Little League can't rent anything, they don't pay anything to,
No,
How are
or
they
they can
gonna-
pay,
But-
they can pay, because they're responsible like for the lights and the electricity.
That's
and
what
all that.
Mr. was
the
talking
maintenance.
about, that
Because
he's
of that.
responsible for the lights and everything, and he don't want anybody
Can I
else
borrow
to
that
use
and
it.
I'll?
Sure.
I'll read it.
Yeah.
Well, and they're watering the
Yeah.
fields and
That's-
then Wildcats
they're
is
not watering
on
the
there.
fields.
Well,
That
they
was the
were at one
argument that they
time.
had.
And then the Wildcats would, you know, they would all get on those fields and tear them up and,
Yeah.
we gotta work out something.
I poured
That's
blood
awesome.
and sweat
Something
all
has
over
to
those
be.
fields.
Well, I was pushing Sherry to
There's
to
too
give
many
me a
kids,
full
we gotta
copy.
figure that out.
Yeah.
And then we can get into it and do what we need to do. And I've got no problem with approaching the city council to request that the city council stop, call null and void, whatever, with the current contract. We'll put together an RFP and we'll get them, and Sherry said, please don't get them all in the same room. I said, I'll get that lieutenant with a gun to stand in here because I don't have enough arm power to stop anybody. But I think that's what needs to be done to get, I mean, we're talking about the kid safety and the recreational use of the facilities. And speaking of facilities, I understand the Little League owns this.
Well, and to be fair to both.
Well, everybody.
Right.
The Little League
I was
goes
told at one time that there was a porch or whatever that went all the way around, so I guess that's why all the exposed stuff.
Yes. But to my knowledge, the Little League does not own that, not the building.
Well, I guess they were responsible for its upkeep, whatever.
No,
We're
sir.
about to get the contract in, because,
Check this out, okay? This is what it says.
but anyhow,
It says field maintenance. The city will be responsible for the watering and mowing of the playing fields with the cooperation of the league, so as not to interfere with or delay any scheduled activities. Number two, the league will be responsible for all field preparation, including field lighting, before the start of the season, as well as continued upkeep for the remainder of the season, not including watering or mowing. So
But
this
that
is-
was an addendum then.
But I haven't found where it actually got passed by council.
I was going to say, there's no
That's what
signatures
I've
on
been
that
looking for.
item. So
'Cause
that can be a draft.
unless it was accepted by council and voted on council, this is a null and void.
That's
You
what
know
I
what I
would
mean?
think. too.
So, that we would not.
How old is that building?
Oh, it's 80,
It's in the eighties though, right?
85, 86.
Because you don't have lead-based paint.
Oh.
I can tell you, I'm 41 years old and I was one of the first ones to play on those fields.
I was gonna say, I think it's older than that.
If it's
Because
older than
my-
that-
My brothers are younger than me, and they were out there playing soccer. I think it's.
Yeah, the soccer was there
Before
first. Yeah, the
that
soccer
was
was
built,
there
but then we
first.
played baseball.
Because those of you that are from here know Fleer Park.
Yeah.
I've played at Fleer Park, and it was just like the most awesomest thing in the whole world to come to the River Park and play baseball. I remember that.
Gee.
I have a scar on my leg from that.
Continuing to be the facilitator, when you mentioned the Wildcats use that
Yes,
Little League
that's
ball field,
football.
this is what I thought that football field that they use. So
That's-
they're using this field as well as the outfield portion of the Little League baseball down
That's the football field for the Wildcats there.
there?
Right now, if you go over there right now, the Little League has put up their fields.
Yeah.
Their temporary fields for their T-ball, their younger group.
Well, I've seen them use all those and the junior field.
And forgive me, because we didn't walk over here
They've used all
Yeah.
of that.
to take pictures of your notorious restrooms, but they're back over there.
Well, I don't even use those other ones.
That's the football field. which is now converted into several baseball fields.
And again, I want you to remember trees, and we're gonna talk about them in a little bit. That's back down toward the river
We
park.
do have soccer people on
That's another, yes, that,
Because there used to be soccer fields before, there were
Before.
baseball fields before.
yes.
Football.
But that's something we can help out
Yeah.
with. Then he took me over here to Loda Court. Couple basketball courts and chain link fence. And
Somebody shoot the doors?
Possibly.
They have been, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
let me in. Skate park, the city, got his name on it, but it's owned by the FEDC. Notice the plywood. And as we move toward the plywood, I guess this area here, back up here, when it was first made, there was some nice river rock. But the river rock became projectiles, as noted. In fact, there's one laying right there. And I was told by, I think it was Sherry today, that with the Holiday Inn Express back over here with this runoff, that they're gonna put a retention pond
Yes.
back over there, because I had asked Alex, because from back over here, back around the corner, you can't see it, because I didn't turn back. There's big open areas, why can't you put some soccer fields out over here? Well, evidently it gets underwater right through there. A lot of people have never even heard of this one.
Where's this thing?
Actually,
That's
I like that. Who said that? Where is that? It's across from the sewer plant. And
Oh, yeah.
the mayor's got some designs on it.
nobody.
But
That
it-
is what FEDC wants to donate to the city, okay?
Oh,
Yum.
wow.
Yum.
When Alex and I were out there, we went over and put these trash cans back up, and there was absolutely no trash. He said he's never seen anybody out there, so. So what we're gaining is you got me. He said that when he first went out there to start clearing this, he didn't know that this geometric clowning thing was even in there until he got the bushes cut down to see
I
it.
had
That tells
no
you
clue that that was there.
how much is in there.
That's how bad it was back then. I mean, all the tables that were upkeeping just around the table, can you go back?
Sure. I think.
I don't know if we have any, if you have any shots of the table area.
No?
See, that right
One
there,
there.
that table right there, there's actually three tables just like that
One there,
one.
one over here.
That
in
one
the
back there being the furthest, that being the fourth.
Way back
When
there.
when I started cutting, when I took over this position, the only tables I knew of were three, right in the front, a few feet, maybe 20, 30 feet off of the road, off the Godiac Road. That's all I knew that was there, and that's where it was pretty much kept up to. And I told Larry, one of our guys, and I said, have you ever gone that way? I'm not gonna go back there. I said, well, get off the tractor, I'll see what I can do. And I got up on the tractor. There's an entrance on each side. And I entered through this, closer to our sewer plant side. And I
We
just
did
started
over
cutting
here.
straight across around the trees. And I cut one time, and I turned around and came back, and I ran into to that
Oh, to the-
little climbing deal. I didn't know that it was there.
Wow.
But just
And we found that other table back there way in the back.
just along the left boundary here, there's a pretty good swale, and then you've got the
Look how great it is
aeration
down
pits.
It always is.
And Alex says in the summertime, when we do get any kind of rain, it's.
If you wanna go over there, it's really nice out there, it is. But go only during the winter time. Don't go during the summertime.
No, thank you.
This even came up in the city council meeting about the tech dot
The traffic.
and trying to do the traffic. Again, the opportunities there to be, either find another place, get tech dot to lower the speeds or do whatever.
What about putting a light there or something?
Well, that's all the other options that we'd look
Or
for.
is the land for sale still behind it? or
Well,
is it
that was
sold?
the thought. I approached the county to
See,
see
that-
if they would be interested in helping us out. That land's been sold.
Oh, gosh.
Not to
Before
steal,
they've
not to
ever
steal
gotten-
his thunder, but one of the things I'd like to point out, that's the single watering device. So this man tells me that it takes 3 days of him leaving wherever he's at to go hook this puppy up, put it to where it sprays, and it moves. As you can see from the
We use
Size.
400 foot of 2-inch water hose there at, we use pretty much that water hose everywhere, but there it takes us 400 feet to get the entire soccer area.
The fields are located to the right. This is what the limited parking area is, all the way back down.
And I'm
Some
sure several
facilities.
of you have been by there during soccer season. It's packed and scary.
Can I make a suggestion? If we're gonna be working and fixing these things up, why can't we just go back to like, during certain seasons, certain coaches or certain, somebody signs for it and maintains it, and then when they get returned, they keep back in? Go inspect and make sure.
Or charge them a fee for us to take care of it.
Put that note on your projects list,
Yeah.
Okay.
or it's going back down, because
Because it needs to be like some type of control, because they're gonna be fighting every time.
Yeah.
I could say, the Little League and the Wildcats are the best about that situation. Now, they're at the Masonic soccer fields, I don't know why, but Monday mornings we come out there, I have guys go out there Monday mornings during soccer season, and it's a mess out there.
Mhm.
But that's the county league that plays there too.
Yes,
It's
it's
not,
not,
it's
it's
not
not,
the city league.
it's not city.
I mean, it's like they do the roping arena and, you know,
Yes.
somebody signs for it, they give a down payment, you don't get cleaned up?
We've been there all night cleaning before.
Well, send somebody go clean it up for you, but the deposit.
Yeah.
Until
well,
they.
the last thing I have for Alex, before I let you go back to your Little League stuff, is what's the current balance on the water fee?
The water account, a dollar is collected every month is $26,995.
26,000.
And I have a question, and this may, I don't know who exactly this is for, and this may be for Mayor Barza. Is there like a separate budget just for the parks and rec that's in this yearly city budget?
Yes.
There is.
There is.
There's a line number.
It's not under like water and sewer, I mean, like
No.
sewer, the roads or anything, it is a separate parks and rec, okay.
Because they have to pull the manpower and
Okay.
comments.
I have one question before you leave. In your opinion, where do you think we should focus our energy first?
One of my biggest concerns, like I said, number one,
No, I mean, safety would be first.
well,
The
that's,
rest-
that's of course number one, yes. Aside from the sinkholes and whatnot, one of my biggest priorities to date right now is to see where I can get funding for, to number one, update all our bathroom facilities throughout. And a real tight, close number two, irrigation system.
Okay, I have another question for
What,
you.
can I ask what kind of irrigation system, like?
For the ball fields?
Whatever.
For
Just
I mean,
pecan bark?
pecan park, whatsoever.
Have you looked at pricing for either of these things? you
I
got a
have
ballpark?
some, I'm not completed getting all of that information. Understand that a lot of this that I do after work, I get off at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 5, 9 out of 10 times I'm at home on my computer, getting prices, getting my information so I can get a packet together to bring to you guys as well as to Andy, because we're losing a lot of trees. I don't think a lot of people realize it, but we're losing a lot of trees all over town. I mean, of course, the drought has a lot to do with it. The watering that we are capable of doing is not enough.
So we don't water it all at Pecan Park?
Yes, we do.
We do.
He's got one of those rolling poles.
I have
like
the
a
same
shed.
thing that you saw there at Pecan Park, but
Okay,
Same thing
again,
in the ball
it takes,
right.
it takes one man about 30 minutes to go and set that up, you know? And at the same token, you know, you leave it run, they throw out a lot of water, don't get me wrong, they throw out a lot of water. And I just don't find it feasible to keep sending the man over there, you know, every 20 minutes to move that
Right.
sprinkler. And actually, during the end of last summer, I was doing it at night, late at night. At 11 o'clock at night, I was going out there.
We have the.
Because during the day with that sprinkler, I can't do it. I can't do it with people walking out there. I mean, that will literally knock you on your butt.
Right.
I mean, I'm not gonna, I mean, it will.
We have the community service workers that do the garbage cans and stuff during different times of the year. Why can't they work with stuff like that too, like moving the sprinkler system, or is it just not feasible?
I don't, with regard to that, I don't know if it is feasible or not. I don't know if those guys have to be chaperoned, so to speak. I can tell you right now, I don't have the manpower to send one guy over there to keep an eye on these guys. If that's what needs to be done, I don't know
You talking
that
about
part.
the boot camp, or is that what you're talking
No,
about?
they actually have the adult community service for people
Oh,
who get
okay.
like
Well,
DUIs.
But now I know they need supervision.
Right.
And I can remember even though the adult one, when Josie Herrera was doing commodities at the park, and she had them once in a while come out and they were supervised also.
Yeah.
So usually they provide a supervisor, it's not the city.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that. who
Well, yeah, but I don't know
provides
if it's
that.
changed though, because they
Yeah.
haven't been used in a long time. I've
Yeah.
seen.
Potentially, it could be a liability against the city too, so they were hurt their back.
But the
Well, that's
city
what I was
uses them,
thinking about
the city
using
uses them for
equipment.
other things though, because you guys use them, I've seen them used to clean up trash downtown and stuff like that.
Correct.
I think those are the ones that Judge Sheila
Yeah, that's
Garza
the-
has. Those are
Judge Garza.
unsupervised.
Okay.
Hey, Alex,
Yes, sir.
when you said, the irrigation system, we talking about, how does it affect the city and the water pressure stuff?
Well, see, that's something that we'd have to, yeah, that's another thing that I haven't gotten to that point yet either.
But see, that's something that we could undertake,
Uh,
and we'll talk about that too. I know-
And my thing is I know, well, it's down right now, but we do have a well that's back of behind the convention center, the civic center. There is a well back there. Also, the well's down right now, my pump fried on it, but that's another thing. I'm starting to get information on that, see how much water I have in that well. What would it take? I know I'd have to add boosters and all kinds of stuff to get it back to the park, you know. I mean,
How far back? Is it past the arena?
it's right at the arena. It's a good,
So,
I
how do
want
we
to say 400 yards.
Well, Mother Nature has to play that game.
Yeah.
They're gonna sell that.
Because I can remember when I was on the 4A, we talked about getting one of those recyclable containers that put out of the Civic Center. And I guess it didn't get, but the idea was good, but then once again, it has to rain.
Yeah.
Well, as we're brainstorming, please make those notes on this project list.
What
I know
about-
you said you needed to get out of here, you've been here 42 minutes now.
Find out how old the building is, the one you said is falling down earlier, because it makes a big difference in renovation if it was built before 1978.
I don't
Oh,
think
it wasn't
no.
built before nineteen.
I want to say for some reason, the swimming pool was built in '83.
It's in the eighties, but it's not
So
before
I'm
nineteen.
assuming it's right in there.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't
It is.
before 1980, I know that. No.
We had soccer fields all out
Yeah.
there. How often do you clean all the bathrooms and sanitize them?
Every
Just
Monday.
curious.
Every Monday and Friday.
Every Monday and Friday.
Friday.
And 20 minutes later.
And then we need to find out about those contracts on the trash.
And then the whiskey fund comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's every Monday and Friday.
Hey,
There's a little old lady following you around watching you.
is there anything in like USDA that, for like restrooms and stuff like that?
They're probably,
Grants?
have a website or a belly button that we can talk to. I can tell you that last night at Livernia at this meeting, that one of their sub-items is restroom renovations at the different parks. So it's, you know, as I'm trying to gain a networking of who we can talk to, funds, et cetera, we can get you up and go from there.
Thank you, Alex.
Well, thanks for
No
coming,
problem.
thanks for
No
the tour.
problem.
Oh, you do have one other park though, the little one that's right across from City Hall, and whatever,
Yeah.
that we didn't get to see.
Yeah, our Watts, yeah,
And then
right
the
there, the
North
tennis
Crest.
courts.
Side that isn't really anything yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's just,
We
that's
do
just
maintain
like,
that also.
North Crest.
Oh,
Yeah, we do maintain that also.
the tennis, but not the tennis
David
courts.
Anderson and
Yes,
David
we
Jones.
maintain
Yeah,
the tennis
I thought they were owned by the American Legion.
I heard,
No.
no, there's no.
The American Legion Hall has from their parking lot,
I was there.
they have, they own an L,
Miss McKinsey.
the American Legion. From that oak tree there,
To look at what's left.
give or take 30, 40 yards from the tree towards Third Street, right, Third Street.
You
I
know,
went to
right
the
there.
city.
Yeah,
The Phelps parking in the back.
There's that too.
Hi, they call it.
It's about 30, 40 yards that the city actually owns.
Okay.
And I guess it started before my time, we do maintain the yard there for the American Legion.
Oh,
I've been doing it because they've told me that that's been done like that forever. Forever. I mean, it's not another 10, 15 minutes worth of manpower, but, and actually I need to go pick up, the lights are not operable right there at the tennis courts right now. And I'm getting phone calls. This week has been bad this week. It's like everything that could go wrong went wrong this week. But I will be going to San Antonio as soon as Andy comes in tomorrow morning. I need to go pick up our time clock fried on there. And if I leave, I disconnected it. I could have left it on, and they operate manually. But at 11 o'clock at night, they shut off to where if you go turn them on, they're not going to turn on. And that's the part of my time clock that broke, the on side. It's broke to where it stays on all the time. Once it's turned on, and I can't remember her name, but the little lady that is right next door is calling me at 11 o'clock at night. Saturday, Sunday.
So he shows up with his 22.
And let me tell you, the first night she called me, I was hesitant on going over there because she was extremely upset.
She was getting sunburned.
She let me have it, let me tell you. She let me have it. I went and I turned them off. I got in my truck. I had the windows rolled down and, thank you very much. Don't let it happen again.
Yes, ma'am.
How many guys work with you in your department?
I have 6. Well, mine's 5.
6 total with you?
Correct.
Okay.
Alex, the restrooms at the tennis courts there, they stay open all night, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's every restroom in town, pretty much.
Well, because I have some students that sleep there.
really?
Well, then they're probably the ones that bust my light bulbs then, because I cannot keep light bulbs. I cannot keep light bulbs.
Well, no, she's an alternative now.
Oh,
Yeah, but, we have, that's where they sleep when they're in their state of equilibrium. That's where they stay.
I think that happens at Pecan Park in that tunnel thing too.
Probably.
Because I've been out there pretty late at
Well,
night and I've seen kids.
Then the police should go patrol it once in a while.
Well, see, I've gotten the chief on a lot of this stuff, and I know, I mean, I don't know that they're shorthanded or not, but, I mean, there's things that I've come to realize that, I mean, and with me, it's all an issue of manpower.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm okay with what I have right now. Could I use more guys? Yes, of course. But I'm okay where I'm at right now. But I don't know what our police officers do at all hours of the night. I don't know, I don't want to know. But I just feel, especially here with Watts, even more so I've spent extra time in October during our peanut festival, because I know several people use those restrooms. They use them all the time, but during the peanut festival, several people use those restrooms. I know they do. I know that there's families that go and hang out there during the peanut festival. That's what they've been doing for years, and that's fine. But I can't keep light bulbs in there. I can tell you right now, I guarantee you they're broke right now, and I'll go put brand new ones in right now, and I'll bet money on it that tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock when I go through there, they'll be broken. They'll be broken.
and gadgets cost too much.
And that's they've broken those too.
Well, I'm assuming that the police can only go over there usually one day. If I hear it on my police scan, if there's a reason to go over
Right.
there. And it's like when my students, one was reported as a runaway anyways, when we had to tip that's where she was, and with her boyfriend, the FISD cops didn't go over there.
Yeah.
But they never gone, but it's the idea.
See, That's a lot of, I mean, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier, you know, I mean, people nowadays,
They just don't care.
they just don't care. They just don't care. You know, and I tell my kids, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna find you doing anything like that, cause I will, you know what I mean? Cause, I mean, I wasn't raised that way. I mean, it's like I said, it meant a lot, that park meant a lot to me. When I came over to that park, and even Fleer Park, if anybody knew Fleer Park, I mean, this was heaven for me, and it meant a lot to me. As a matter of fact, the flagpole on the minor major league field was put there in remembrance of my father. So it has an even more special meaning to me, and I can't believe that people would come and do the things that they do, you know? And they're people from Floresville.
Is controlled access an option? The reason I ask that is like Pecan Park, what if we locked it up after 6 at night and left it locked until the next day? Or we left it locked unless somebody like leased the field for a birthday party or something like that, we just didn't have it open to everybody.
That, I don't think that
It
that's.
won't work.
Are you talking about the bathrooms only?
Yeah, the bathroom, like controlling the access.
Or maybe the city needs to get proactive on crime, reward for somebody reporting somebody,
Trust me, I do it.
you know?
I tried to, you know, I was the, I don't know, I guess I still am, one of the sponsors of the junior crime stop was at the high school. And we try to put it out, you know, and you see, it doesn't have to be school related, but it can be anything in the community that you see you can make money on it. And, I think we only used twice, and then I don't think we only have used it since then.
Is he in for
But,
graffiti and stuff? you know?
But see, they're the ones that, you know, like, you'd be surprised how the youth turn each other in, but don't know about it.
Mhm.
You know, so I mean, you know, if I could just get them to understand that if you know who's tagging the walls or stealing the light bulbs or breaking them or whatever, or using the projectiles on the roof, you know, call the crime stoppers.
You know, and just
Because we
that-
have a contract with the school that, you know, and then also if it's as a community thing, they'll get money out of it. And you'd be surprised.
Back to the sign theory too, though, putting up a sign at that park that says there's a $200 reward for anybody who reports
Yeah.
a
There you go.
valid, somebody knocking out these lights. The kids that are knocking them out may take notice too and stop doing it. Because one of my friends is gonna rat me out, you know?
Well,
Yeah, but
even
see,
even
I-
fake
honestly-
cameras.
Get a little game camera.
I
private.
honestly thought about putting my game cameras in there.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I don't know what to, if somebody were to find it,
Hide
yeah.
it.
Well,
All
even
it takes
fake
is one
cameras.
time and finding who they are
They'll
and then
steal it
bringing them
with
back
your
over
flash.
there and.
Yeah.
What?
And their
Let me get
community
control of
service
this
would
meeting
be-
again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna thank you
No
for
problem.
coming in.
No problem.
If you make that prioritization there.
I will- I